So using this idea of times on top and divide on bottom, we can multiply these fractions with whole numbers. And I've kind of color-coded this. We have a times 2 on top, a times 5, and then we have a divide by 3 on bottom. So since it's just really just one big fraction, I'm going to write this as 2 times 5 on top. And if we remember the times on top divide on bottom, we won't accidentally put the times 5 on the bottom. So this works out to be then 10 over 3. We could use the same sort of reasoning for here as well, because we have a 3 in the top. Okay, that's a times. We have a divide by 4 on the bottom. And then if we divide by 6, we're going to put that in the denominator only. That divide does not go in the numerator. And so we end up with 3 over 24, which we can simplify to 1 over 8 if I divide out the common factor of 3. Now this also works if I do 3 over 4 and then use our multiplying strategy, multiply by the reciprocal. I'm going to end up with the same result, 3 over 24, and again that simplifies to 1 over 8. So really, if we just kind of focus on keeping the times on top and divide on bottom, we can keep everything straight. So in this case here, again, 3 times 5, the times factors go on top, top times top, bottom times bottom. We have common factors which you can simplify out. So if I cancel out a factor of times divide by 3 on bottom, I'm just left with divide by 2. And I end up with 5 over 14. So this is a shortcut of how I can simplify fractions. It's probably better to actually show the factors involved. So here I have times 4, times 5, times 9, and I know the 12 has a times 4 factor. So I'm going to rewrite that 12. This 12 here is 3 times 4. And then because of the common factors involved, I can simplify out the times 4 divide by 4. So I'm left with a times 5 on top. There's no other common factors. So I just combine the divides on bottom as divide by 27. And there's my answer. So here's same thing. Just keep all our times factors on top. Now I'm going to do another shortcut here because I noticed right away, although I haven't written as one fraction, really it is just one fraction. And I can see that there are common factors of times 4 and divide by 4. And they share no other common factors, so I can just do this in one step. 1 times 3, 5 times 7, and my answer then is 3 over 35. And this is another shortcut we can take as long as we know what we're doing and we're confident with what we're doing. We can start taking some of these shortcuts. So here I'm going to write one big fraction. I've got a times 3 times 4 divide by 9. Now in this case here I could flip and multiply, but I'm just going to try to keep track of it this way. So that's divide by 8, so the 8 should go on the bottom, and divide by 3, which means we have that should be a times on top. Now I'm just going to double check this, and I'm going to do this in a different color. Let's do a little bit darker blue here. So if I test this, this is 3 over 1 times 4 over 9 times 3 over 8. When I take a look at that, I can see that all my times are in the right spot when I wrote it in factored form, and all the divides are in the right spot as well. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. Now I see common factors. If you know how to cancel those common factors in one step, that's fine. I'm just going to show it with all the factors involved here. So instead of 9, I'm going to rewrite that as 3 times 3. And I can see that those cancel out with these ones here. And the 8 can be rewritten as 2 times 4. and the two 4s can cancel out. And so all I'm left with in the end is, if everything cancels, I still left with a 1, and there's a divide by 2 on bottom. For G, same thing. I'm going to write this all in one fraction. Times 7 times 1 times 1. On the bottom, there are no factors that are common to the numerator, so I can just rewrite it like that. And since no common factors, I just multiply everything on the top with everything on the bottom, and I end up with 7 over 400. Same thing here, nothing common, no common factors, so I can just rewrite that as 3 on top. 2 times 2 times 5 works out to be 20 on bottom. So that works out to be the final answer.